Hi, Chuck Hawley from West Marine with a buyer's guide on marine medical kits. You know, for many years we've been sponsoring safety at sea seminars around the country, along with U.S. Sailing, Cruising World Magazine, and Sailing World Magazine. And one of the featured speakers at these seminars has been Dr. Michael Jacobs. Dr. Jacobs has a tremendous amount of information about emergency medicine at sea because he's also a wilderness doctor where you have to deal with the same sort of constraints. Not much materials, maybe not much of a skill set on part of the people that you're with, and you still have to deal with all sorts of different types of medical emergencies. So he's worked with Adventure Medical Kits to make the West Marine series of medical kits for use on board. It starts with this little medical kit 1.0. This is in a sealed, O-ring sealed plastic case. One of the nice things is you can see the contents through the outside. And this is ideal for a weekend trip where you're going out with 1 to 4 people, maybe, and incidentally on the label it tells you how many people in what type of vessel. So they say for a pontoon boat, fishing boat, or a little recreational power boat. And in here, you have a lot of good stuff. A little kit for bleeding and CPR, a wound care kit, fractures and sprains, and medications all packed in waterproof bags inside a waterproof box. So if you're going out with 1 to 4 people for just short periods, day trips really, this is a great kit to use. For a little bit longer duration, you can use this kit. This is our 2.0 kit, and this is for 1 to 6 people on either recreational or fishing boats. Again, what's nice is a nice soft kit. It's not going to slide around, and when you do want to open it up, you've got individually packaged kits. In this case, another bleeding and CPR kit, wound care and burn and blister, fractures and sprains, and then medications at the bottom, each of which is in a heavy-duty vinyl bag. Now, what's cool is that if you're not a medical professional, and I'm certainly not, the instructions for how to use it are inside each bag. So inside the bleeding and CPR kit, it tells you how to stop bleeding and how to bind up a wound so that it will keep from bleeding. The most valuable thing in this whole kit, however, is Dr. Jacobs' Comprehensive Guide to Marine Medicine. Now this is written with Dr. Eric Weiss from Stanford University, Michael Jacobs, so you have a bi-coastal effort, and this has a tremendous amount of information on how to deal with things like dangerous sea creatures and jellyfish stings and stepping on coral and all sorts of things that you might run into on a trip. This is much more comprehensive than the book, but it gives you a background, over 200 pages of great information. So this is included in the 2.0 kit. The next kit in this series is a 3.5 kit. I don't have that, but just imagine it's between that and the 5.0 kit. 5.0 kit in this case meets the requirements for fishing, offshore sailors, and also commercial. And this is for 1 to 8 people. Now, it's a little bit strange to keep on saying 1 to 4, 1 to 6, 1 to 8, but the idea is the medical kit manufacturers want to give you an idea that you need a bigger kit if you're going to sea with more people. Kind of makes sense. In this kit, we've got a SAM Splint. If you haven't seen a SAM Splint in action, this is a foam-covered piece of soft aluminum, which allows you to create a splint in almost any shape, for a wrist, for an ankle, for a forearm. It's tremendously versatile. We've got an advanced wound care here, which has things like a syringe with a very fine tip on it. This is for irrigating wounds and getting all the debris out of it. And again, more and more products in the wound care area. In fractures and sprains, again, more items, including a cold compress where you squeeze it and it turns very cold to reduce swelling. And then a medications bag. Now, I should just put in a quick side note here. These kits are terrific, but there will be a time when you may need more inventory. And what I end up doing is taking a heavy-duty plastic bag and getting standard Band-Aids, betadine, an ACE wrap, and some adhesive tape, and just putting it into a bag. For about 15 bucks, going to your normal pharmacy, you can put something together like this to augment the gear that's already in these kits. Then finally, if you're going offshore, you need a real medical kit. So Adventure Medical Kits makes a 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000 kit. Now, this can be pretty intimidating if you're, again, a layperson and not a medical professional. I always advise taking a doctor to sea with you, or better yet, a nurse. But if you can't do that, or if they won't sail with you, you can use this kit. This kit has a ton of stuff in it. So first of all, you'll notice that everything's labeled, at least it's labeled for me. We have CPR and instruments, fractures and sprains, a burn bag, a dental suture and syringe bag, a bleeding bag, a wound care bag, and then this has all of your medications in it. Again, zippered bags that have great stuff in it. For example, Ben's, this is a insect repellent, which is really, really effective. Some sunscreen, some sting relief if you get stung by a jellyfish. And on the outside is a list of all the medications, on the inside, but protected, is a list of all the medications that are inside here. So that if you, regardless of what your problem is, you can look it up on this outside panel and find the medications inside. And also things like additional alcohol wipes and betadine wipes and all sorts of things to clean wounds. These are high quality, yet lots of them, so that you don't have to scrimp and scrimp and save when you're trying to help somebody with their wound. So again, kits are individually packaged with a zipper closure, with instructions on them, color coded, and they include Dr. Weiss and Dr. Jacobs' great book on emergency medicine. So every boat should have a medical kit. If you're sailing something that's larger than a laser or bigger than a little fishing skiff, you need to have a medical kit. It doesn't have to be big, but you do have to know what's in it, you have to know how to use what's in it, and you have to get back to shore and get professional medical care if you think you've got a bigger problem than that. And this is where a VHF radio comes in, but that's a different West Advisor. So whichever one of these you choose, it's a great idea to take a first aid course either from the American Red Cross or from an equivalent agency around the country so that you know how to respond in an emergency. These kits and many other choices are available throughout our chain of 300 stores and online at westmarine.com.